How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade, and I am in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, ready for the start of the 126th running of the Boston Marathon, the longest running marathon, and the 50th anniversary of the first official women's race. So it's a historical day. And this is the starting area. It is beautiful here at the town center. And the elite men just started. The elite women are about to start in just a minute or two. And yeah, I don't know what video clips I'm going to get along the course, but if I can, I'll check in. I'll put something together for you. All right, I'll see you in a bit. How's it going, everybody? I hope you enjoyed that special introduction that was filmed live on location in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. That was me right before the 2022 Boston Marathon, the 126th running of the longest continuously held marathon in the world, just full of history. Now, like you saw in the beginning, 2022 was also the 50th anniversary of the first official women's race, not counting Catherine Switzer or Bobby Gibb before that, because they ran unofficially, but they really paved the way. So much history. That's why I wanted to make this video today, because I wanted to share my history of this event. If you've been with this channel for a while, you know I ran the 2020 Boston Marathon virtually, and I went to Alaska. If you go to my random history playlist, you can see the three-part video or three-part playlist on that, because what a beautiful experience. But it had nothing compared to the experience I had in Boston. Okay? Now, I'm going to be showing you some of my race pictures. I'll be honest with you, not all of them are good, but I think they really show the toughness of this course. I've run marathons on hillier courses, or courses that have more elevation gain over the course. But the downhills at the beginning, starting in Hopkinton, that first mile, you drop over 100 feet. That burned out the front of your legs. And man, I was still sore a few days later on the quads right there. And man, those four big hills, the Newton Hills, starting at mile 16 all the way to Heartbreak Hill, mile 2021, they're no joke, okay? So great race, great course, but man, a challenging course, okay? So let me give you just a little bit of background how I got to Hopkinton that you saw at the beginning. You see, because I qualified for Boston through the Adaptive Program. If you look at my bib, it's got a little P for Para-Adaptive Program there. And because of that, I got to take a special bus all the way to the church hall, which is only 2 blocks from the starting line. So where you saw me in the beginning was kind of like the side entrance there that all disabled athletes, we're talking amputees, deaf, blind, any number of qualifying disabilities, multiple sclerosis, which I have, falls under that as well. We actually got a police escort all the way from Boston, where they blocked traffic to get us on the interstate and blocked every on-ramp so that our convoy of trucks for equipment and buses with the athletes could make it to Hopkinton unimpeded. And it was kind of scary because they put us in wave 1. That's why I had the red bib you saw there. And I think that was to give us extra time because of our situation, but it also put us with the really fast runners. Take a listen to this. This is what it sounded like. I found this video, this audio clip, and it had just the feet marching almost in sync as these runners ran past. And this is what it sounded like for the first couple miles as that first wave made its way by. And that was kind of scary, but I remember there was a volunteer as they called letter P into the corrals, and he looked at me, he tapped me on the shoulders, turns me around, he goes, "Hey, be careful," because he knew that there was fast runners around us, so he wanted us to be careful. So that was really sweet, really nice of him. Working my way backwards. Then to get to the starting line, we had to walk only a couple blocks from the church hall where we were staged. And so a great experience just getting to the starting line. And then the race starts. And I remember a quarter mile in, I hit a little tiny pothole and just barely rolled my ankle. It wasn't bad. I sprung out of it and I kept going. I was able to finish. But man, I was like, this is not a good start to the race. But we made it, right? And then as we're going, around mile, I think it was 2.5, we saw Spencer. I don't have a good picture of him, but Spencer the dog, the official dog of the Boston Athletic Association, he just got over cancer himself, so he was still along the course cheering on runners. People were stopping to pet him. I didn't stop to pet him, but I did get this picture. And we continued on our way. And man, it was challenging at places. There were times when it was hard because, like I said, the hills really take it out of you. It's a marathon just in general, but man, we kept going. And what kept me going was the crowd. And as you see in the pictures that I'm showing of you, I wear my name on my shirt because I want that crowd support. You know, I want to hear people say, "Go Andy," so that I can go, "Yeah, let's go." But let me tell you, Boston was really different. And I really want to harp on this for a second because Boston felt more like family than random strangers. And that probably doesn't make sense. Let me explain. You know, in other races when I've worn my name on the shirt, like Chicago or Philadelphia, they go, "Go Andy." I go, "Yeah, let's go." And then I just keep going. But in Boston, it felt like everyone was making eye contact with you. Everyone was like zoning in on you, and they would look at you and say, "Go Andy." And I would look at them and say, "I know you, let's go." And I would yell and I would scream and I'd try and pump myself up. And I'll be honest, I lost count how many times I heard people chanting my name, "Andy, Andy." And how does that not just get you going? Oh my goodness, it was so exciting. And I told my students, and I'll tell you, if you hear stories about this race, about some weird guy yelling and screaming the whole 26 miles, they're probably talking about me because every time they chant my name, it would just get me so pumped up. I'd yell. You can see in some of these pictures, me actually yelling to get myself pumped up and to get the runners around me to go. You know, just try and keep everyone moving, especially around mile 25. That Sitco sign right there, mile to go. That last mile was a tough one, but man, I gave it all on the course and I pushed my way through. But I don't want to get ahead of myself in the story. But yeah, I'll get to that. The thing is, along the course, not only did they have regular spectators lined basically the whole course, very few quiet spots, but then you have the Wellesley Scream Tunnel. If you've not heard this, it is loud. And they weren't kidding when they said you could hear it from more than a mile away. It is so loud. And they have the signs along the side and everyone's cheering. And literally every college kid there had their hand out and I just ran through the tunnel high-fiving. Now, I actually was going so fast. I looked at my watch at the end of the tunnel and I was going 2 minutes per mile faster than I planned for the race. I was like, "Ooh, I better slow down." That probably didn't help me towards the end either. But it was just so exciting. That crowd energy really gets you going. And man, Boston does it right, bar none. Best experience with the crowd I've ever had. Chicago was close, but Boston, they take the cake. And then we get down, and this video, I'm backing up just because I want to show you the difference. This first video was my wife, Mrs. Wade, recording at around the 6.5 mile mark. I look a little fresh, a little excited. You know, I'm coming up, I give them hugs, and I keep going. This next video is around mile 15. As you can see, I look just a little bit more tired, okay? But 15 miles into the race, right? But right before the hills, and everyone talks about Heartbreak Hill. Heartbreak Hill was tough. It's a long hill, and it's a good grade, 4%, I believe. But the hill at mile 16, you go down that big drop and you immediately go into an uphill. That was the steepest of the 4 hills, and man, that one was rough. Mile 16 was rough, and then you just have 3 more to go. And man, once you get through those hills, it was good because you're in the city. And then you see that Sitco sign off in the distance, and you're like, "Oh, I must be close." But man, it's such a big sign. I think it's 60 foot by 60 foot. You can see it from a long way away. I think it was like around mile 24 you could see it. So you're just watching it for that last mile or so until you actually get to it. You're like, "Why am I not getting close to the finish line?" But you get to it, and man, it was rough, you know, because it was mile 25, but it's also so exhilarating to say, "Hey, I'm at the Sitco sign." You see 1 mile to go written out there, and you just go for it. And man, it was so good. Now, I had actually run the Friday before the race. So the race is on Monday, Patriots Day. And the Friday before, I actually went to Marathon Sports and met Meb Keflezighi, the guy on the cover of the book next to me here, the champion of the 2014 Boston Marathon, the year after the bombing. And we did a shakeout run, and we ran from the finish line to the Sitco sign, turned around and came back. So I got to run the last mile of the marathon with Meb Keflezighi, the champion, 2014 champion. So that was a cool experience. So I had a little experience with this last mile. I knew that there was going to be a little dip. I knew that when you get to the end, you make that right on Hereford, there's going to be a little hill, and then a left on Boylston. Greatest left turn in history, right? So you turn on the Boylston, and you got about 600 meters to go, right? think of it, a lap around the track, a little more, and you can see that finish line getting closer. And my goodness, what a great experience. Now, all this put together, great. It was the 50th anniversary of the women's running. Also, I should tell you, on the course I saw Shalane Flanagan. She was a guide runner for Adrian Hazlitt, a survivor of the Boston bombing that I mentioned earlier. And I saw them on the course. I got to cheer them on, say, "You're amazing," as I went past them. It was so cool to see everyone cheering everyone on. And if you've never run a big marathon, I think you missed that, because you're competing against yourself. You're competing against the clock, but you're not really competing with the people around you, and everyone cheers you on. I got so many pats on the back, cheering me on. It was so just uplifting, not just the crowds, but the fellow runners. If you've not run a big race, do yourself a favor and try it. Now, if you're curious what the course is, if you're curious what I look like on the course, I've been showing some pictures, but take a look at this video that Marathon Photo put out, and I think you're just going to love it, because it follows the course. You'll see me at a couple different places. I think it was the 15K. And the 30K mark. I look a little tired at the 30K, right? But then you see the finish, and if you see me cross the finish, you will see that there's nothing left to give. I literally could not run another step after that finish line. So I'm happy with my time. Not the fastest, you can see, 4:46:32, but I can say I've run the Boston Marathon. I'm happy to have completed it. I got my medal, I've got my bib, I'm wearing a Boston shirt. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've kind of got a feel for the course. Maybe you're inspired to qualify for Boston, maybe through any program. Maybe you want to be a charity runner to raise money. I'm not selling you on it, but I'm telling you, it's such a worthwhile experience. Okay. All right, Virtual History 360, ending the Boston Marathon on the warning track of Fenway Park. I hope you can hear me. I know it's loud here, but this is the after party, mile 27, and we are all here. I've got my medal. I have completed the 126th Boston Marathon, and everyone is happy. It is a party, and I think this is a great way to end by literally walking on the field level of the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. So, what do you guys think? It was a good trip. It was worth it. All right. So, you guys be awesome. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.